Hello, everyone. My name is Sonia Cato Howard, and I am with E Women. I am partnering up with my girl Kimmy McNeese, K Mac on Facebook Live, and together we help women live happy, healthy, and hopeful. Tonight, I want to talk about the topic is don't be a fool. All around us, we see fools, people that do foolish things, and we ourselves have been known to do some things that we wish we have not done. A fool lacks good sense. The definition of a fool is a person who acts unwisely and doesn't show care about the consequences of their actions. So we need to consciously not become a fool and also know how to deal with fools. So did you know that a fool cannot be taught? A fool has no interest in understanding. Fools only want to tell their own opinions. Like the little Miss Know-it-alls. Fools do wrong things that mess up their good reputation, like stealing, and they make others lose respect for them, like abandoning their children that God has given them, especially when they bring shame or disgrace to someone, like spitting on someone or cursing someone out. Fools do immoral things and illegal things, like rape and molestation, because they feel others are not worth considering or worthless. Fools don't want to do what's right or follow good judgment, like robbing a bank or murdering someone. Fools don't want to obey rules or a code of behavior, like cheating or not honoring your parents. And whatever a fool does is right to themselves, like driving drunk. So these are reasons that you can't teach a fool. You can always recognize a fool by their mouth. A fool tells lies because they hate you. They damage your reputation to anyone that will listen, like telling your husband that you were cheating or lying in court under oath. A fool admits in doing foolish things out loud. And that is things that lack good sense, like bragging to their friends about how they stole clothes out of a department store or bragging about robbing someone. A fool gives long explanations of their ideas without thinking or listening to the real facts. Like a coworker trying to explain how to do the job correctly, but the fool is insisting on doing it their way. And this is because a fool speaks without good sense. A fool's heart refuses to conform or accept standards and rules. They say things like, why should I get a real job and pay taxes when I can kick your front door in and rob you and sell your stuff? And fools love love to practice evil and wicked things, like seducing young girls, drugging them, and holding them hostage for sex trafficking. A fool talks against God. They say things like, God ain't got nothing on me, and I decide my destiny. Fools' words gets them into constant arguments, and they provoke others to want to fight them, like your drunk uncle who tells everybody's business. The things that fools say always lead to their own ruins. They're always mad at the world and blame everyone for their foolish actions and for not helping them. A fool traps themselves in bad situations, all because of their mouths. Like the person that commits a crime with his gang, lies for them while sitting in jail because of them. And a fool will continue down this path even though they have suffered these things. Like the person whose father went to jail and their mother went to jail. And yet, they also end up in jail because they never learned from what they saw. And these are the ways that a fool's mouth get them into trouble. Therefore, don't argue with a fool. A fool can get everyone around them agitated and stir it up, like the person that's always causing problems and showing out. You can't take them anywhere. And if you take a fool to court with you, all they will do is scream and shout, be disrespectful, and insult others. But this is not what you need to win. If you don't address a fool's nonsense, you'll be just like them, foolish, meaning that you're ignoring the real issue. But if you do point out the nonsense of a fool, then they can learn with their own eyes, and maybe no one has ever said anything to them. So don't argue with the fool. Also, don't trust a fool. Never send an important message by a fool. This is like hurting yourself or even killing yourself. You wouldn't give an important message to a piece of evidence to a fool to give to your lawyer, because you could end up in jail. And sometimes even giving fools good information that could help them is useless because they won't use the information. Like telling teens to stay in school and do well, make good grades, but they end up dropping out and struggling in life anyway. A fool cannot lead another fool. That is, a person without knowledge and common sense cannot lead another person without knowledge and common sense. They will both end up in a bad place. Like a drug addict trying to teach another drug addict how to get through life successfully. So don't trust a fool. The difference between an intelligent person and a fool. Doing wrong is fun for the fool, like carjacking someone and bragging about it. But those who live using common sense will have pleasure because they're not looking over their shoulders for the things that they've done. And when hard times come in life, a fool will be taken over. That is because they don't have a sensible way of dealing with problems like death and money and relationships. They turn to drugs, fighting, drinking, and hurting others to relieve their stress and depression. But those who live right will be left standing firm. That's because God will work it all out for them. Doing things that make no common sense is fun for the one who has no common sense. They say things like, let's beat this old lady up and take her purse. But a person who understands what is right will do right. A fool even makes fun of their wrongs, of making their wrongs right. They say things like, you're crazy if you think I'm going to get a 9-to-5 job when I can sell drugs and make a lot of money. But those who do right will have good things to happen to them. A person who keeps doing foolish things eventually loses all of their right thoughts of what to do. That is, your conscience actually shuts down. So there's nothing inside you that's telling you to do the right thing anymore. And when this happens, a fool always makes wrong decisions. So that is, you've been doing wrong for so long that you don't even realize that it's wrong anymore. And while a person that uses common sense makes right decisions. So these are the differences between an intelligent person and a fool. And last, fools don't believe God is real. Fools say there is no God. They ignore the fact that the sun is perfectly placed in the orbit so that it doesn't burn us up, and yet it's close enough to keep us warm. They ignore the fact that the moon is placed so that we can have light once the sun goes down. If there was no moon, we would be in complete darkness. They ignore that God has created so many beautiful and unique creatures. For example, there are over 400,000 different types of flowers. There are no two butterflies alike, snowflakes alike, or even twins alike. The fool doesn't even realize that God has given us the ability to learn and grow. We're not animals. Our brains alone understands colors, temperature, pressure, sounds, and textures. And we are a being that can create. The woman between the egg and the sperm getting together, it creates an embryo, and that woman can hold that baby in her womb, and it has everything it needs in its DNA to create a whole new person. And then our body pushes that baby out, and that baby grows up to be someone like you and I. That's amazing. So we're not robots. God has given us the ability to love and feel and experience life. And guess what? All of these facts about fools came from the Holy Bible. This is what God says a fool is, not my opinion. Every single thing I gave you was a scripture. So our goal in life should be not to be a fool, but to be teachable, to listen, to watch our words, to learn, to be trustworthy, to make intelligent decisions, and to get to know God, our Creator. So, don't be a fool. Thanks for listening.